Hi, so today I thought I'd talk about the Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy Palette. And those of you who are familiar with Christmas releases from Too Faced know that they always do really great packaging for most of their Christmas collection. And this particular palette, when it first released, it did catch my eye, but I sort of skipped it primarily because I have too many eyeshadow palettes. And surprisingly, this palette landed up at TJ Maxx just before Christmas. And after Christmas, when I actually picked it up, it was further discounted because of the Christmas related motif on it. TJ Maxx was doing this whole 50% off of products which had any Christmas related motif on it. So I got this palette eventually for $15, and that was a really good price to pay. And I was very happy to get it for that price. So although I don't really need any more eyeshadow palettes, I decided to just buy it because of the price. It was just too good to pass up. And like I was saying, most of the Too Faced releases, which are in this tin packaging, the formula is really good. And this particular palette is no exception. This is a very warm tone palette. If you haven't seen it already, this is how it looks. And this particular palette has a nice mirror, and it's basically tin packaging, sleek. I actually like the pack. I generally like tin packaging, especially from Too Faced. And these are the shadows inside. And as you can see, it's a nice mix of shimmers as well as mattes. And I generally enjoy Too Faced eyeshadow. So if you like their typical eyeshadow formula, this palette is very much that same formula. It's not like some of their other holiday releases where the palettes might be made like in China or some other place. So, you know, the quality is a bit different. This one is made in the USA, and it is very much true to their original formula. And so I can show you some of the shimmer shades first. So Cookie Cutter is a shimmer shade, that's one. Then we have Drizzle It, which is another nice shimmer shade. Then we have Lick the Spoon, Spicy Mammy. Oh, I was reading it as Spicy Miami. Spicy Mammy, Half Baked, Candy Queen, and Midnight Snack. For the GLAM is actually a matte shade with a little tiny specks of shimmer all over it. So it's not a true matte, it's not a true shimmer either. So that's the only shade. The rest of them are all true mattes or true shimmers. Now at first glance, the matte shades remind me very much of the Peachy Mattes. So if you have the palette, the Too Faced Peachy Mattes palette, do let me know if these shades are similar to the ones there, because the first thing that struck me when I saw this palette was that the mattes looked very much like the mattes in that palette. I don't have that palette, but they do look very similar. And I haven't really got a chance to check up and compare the two palettes to see if they really are very similar. The shimmers are very nice, and they're very easy to throw on and use on a regular basis, day-to-day wearing to the office. It's perfect for that purpose. So it's not like too warm tone that you can't really wear it for a formal occasion or to work. So I generally like the palette. It's a nice mix of usable shades as well as nice colorful shades like Hot Tamale and CINNA-MOAN. These are very nice, interesting shades. The Extra Spicy is one of my favorite shades, as well as Butterscotch. Butterscotch, I don't have any shade which looks like that, and it looks very nice when blended in. And as with Too Faced, most of their matte shades, they blend really well. They're very pigmented as well. So the mattes work really well in this particular palette. The shimmers are all the I don't know how to describe that. The newer versions of all the shimmer shades in most companies, the palettes which most companies come out with nowadays, have this very creamy texture to them. And this particular palette also, all of them, they have quite a bit of dimethicone and silicones in it. So it basically is very creamy, and therefore they don't really have too much of fallout either, compared to like those traditional drier shimmer shades. So these are like slightly more creamy in texture, and all of these shades pretty much have the same type of formula. They do have a few differences here and there if you actually look at the ingredients, but for the most part on the eyes they all like apply in a very similar fashion, the shimmer shades. And the matte shades, like I said, are very pigmented and they also blend very easily. And that's one of the reasons why I like Too Faced mattes. They don't require too much building up, but at the same time you can kind of blend them really easily. So that's all that I have to say in particular about this palette. So now we can go into some live swatches. And I like to use a brush for my swatching so you can get a better idea of how the eyeshadow actually picks up with a brush versus the finger, because most of us, at least most of the people I know, like to use eyeshadows with a brush. So let's get into that section now. Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy Palette swatched. So this is basically the top row, the second row, and the third row of the palette. So that's that. Overall, I really like this palette. It swatches, as you can see, the mattes are really good. The shimmers are also nice. It's especially if you like that particular formula where it's a bit creamy in texture, and it's not like your traditional shimmer shades where it can tend to be a little powdery. And like I said, because it's creamy, it's not going to give you too much fallout. But at the same time, it can be a bit difficult to work with a brush sometimes, those type of formula. So here are the shades. So yes, I hope this gives you a nice idea of how it looks like with a brush. So that is the Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy Palette. I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.